8 on NASA. Hey, Brent, Happy New Year. A week after what took place in Venezuela, what do you see, yeah, for investment implications here? I think we covered that.
Yeah,
It's
let me just say one other thing about Venezuela while I'm at I mentioned that it solves a bunch of different problems. So again, it's absolutely about oil, but that's just one thing. Venezuela also has a lot of gold,
oh
and
yeah, good
gold,
point.
a
Right.
lot of gold, and
Man.
from just a physical geographic perspective, Venezuela sits at one of the most important geographical spots in the world. And so that the now that the US, has that, even if the US doesn't control it, the fact that China or Russia is no longer going to have military bases there or in control of it, again, that is a big win for the United States. It also serves as a warning that and and an example that the United States is not going to tolerate Russia and China developing an economic ties in the Western Hemisphere. China had a lot of inroads in Panama. Yeah, China is not going to control the Panama Canal. That's just not going to happen. Um, and uh, and the fact so it sends a signal for that. The other thing is that a number of different um, terrorist organizations from around the world would use
Mhm.
Venezuela as a training ground, and they would use the drugs being transported through Venezuela as a way to fund their operations. So it helps solve it from that. Venezuela, to a certain extent, I think if you think back to World War II, right? Like England was viewed as the unsinkable aircraft carrier from which to launch operations into Europe, right? Well, Venezuela is kind of the same way if anybody was ever trying to do the same to the United States. So taking that off the table from somebody else having that. The other thing is, I think it's to a certain extent, the United States. I've said this many, many times. If you look through my Twitter feed, is that the Armada in the Caribbean is not just about Venezuela. It's absolutely about Venezuela, but it's not just about Venezuela. And you've seen, I mean, Trump hasn't slowed down since the Venezuela stuff. He's already talked about Colombia. He's kind of put them on notice. He's put the cartels on notice in Honduras.
Mexico.
He's put
Yeah.
them on notice in Mexico. And so, the US has many options now from where to begin operations or where to launch operations from throughout all of South America and Latin America. So I don't think that armada is going to be leaving anytime soon. I think it's
Mhm.
going to be there for a long time. And I don't think that the operations by the United States in Latin America are over with. Um, and so we'll have to wait and see. But the point is that, oh, the other thing is that not only was Venezuela kind of seen as an unsinkable aircraft carrier, but one of these new technologies. There's a guy named Michael McNair who on Twitter who's very good, and if you're interested in this type of stuff, you should follow him. And I don't agree with everything he says, but I agree with a lot of what he says. And we've had some back and forths, and some stuff we disagree, some stuff we agree. But he wrote a good report about how this new technology of stealth drones underwater stealth drones or underwater drones. Underwater drones cannot go all the way around the world the way a submarine can, but they can go a couple thousand miles or 1,000
Mhm.
miles. And so that was a Venezuela was a potential launching pad for other countries to launch underwater drones, into US territory. And so it kind of takes that off the table as well. So again, the Venezuela thing, it's very obviously, and oil is the very easy thing to cherry pick. And it's
Mhm.
not that it's wrong, it's just not the whole story.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And it's just interesting now because I think I just read earlier, like Mexico's starting to mobilize on our borders with their military troops, and the writing's on the wall. Did you see the whole Pizza Hut or the pizza tracker in DC right now? Like,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
guys that
Yep,
are in it. So
yep,
it's like everybody's
yep,
sitting there ready for
yep,
campaigns to go off. So
yep,
uh they're making big moves right now
yep,
across the board. This is real politic happening in real
yep,
time. There's
yep.
got to be pragmatic about it more than anything else. Is what it is.